But one of the things that I love, even though it sucks, is adversity. Adversity is amazing. Going through challenging times, even though going through it sucks, the challenging times teach you so much about yourself, and they teach you that you can, if you make the right moves and don't doubt and keep going, then you can make it over to the other side of whatever your situation is, whatever you're going through. I don't care if that's marriage, I don't care if that's poverty, I don't care what it is. Whatever challenging time you're going through perseverance and not speaking negativity over your situation, you can get through it. Because what I always say is, and my pastor says, saying whatever you're going to say out of your mouth is sowing it into your life. So what that means to you is if you are saying negative things about whatever your situation is, that's what you can expect to happen. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 152, 152 weeks of consistency, 152 weeks of getting it done. We outside. Guys, listen, man. Wealth is Journey is moving. I say this every week. Getting different opportunities. I spoke to some kids this week at a high school, and it was amazing, man, because wealth building, when you think about wealth building, you think about, borrowing money and then paying it down and then you own an asset and all these different things. But what I was able to enlighten them about is being able to start early, whether that be saving money, investing, starting to set their budgets up. And that from a wealth building perspective is not talked about enough because you can get a lot of money in, but what do you do with it? A lot of times when we grow up financially challenged, I'm not going to say poor. When we grow up financially challenged, then what happens is we get a lot of money in, then we end up buying a lot of the things that we couldn't afford before we got the money. And it causes problems. And I was able to talk to them and open their eyes up to being able to do the boring things first, which is save your money, set up your budget, set up an emergency fund, and then invest. That's the cool thing. Then that's how they can build their foundation for building wealth. And it was awesome, man. But the one thing I will tell you is that when you talk to kids, and any parents out there will probably vouch for me, when you talk to kids, man, it like they were super dry in the very beginning because they're like probably like, who is this guy? But then as we started talking and they, I started showing them some things regarding my portfolio, then they perked up and then they started asking questions and it was phenomenal, man. And they asked me to come back, which is cool. So wealth is a journey. We're out here, man. So if you need somebody to speak to your students or your family members or congregations or anybody who's looking to build wealth, holla at your boy, man. If you're a first time listener, watcher, subscriber, thank you so much for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finance. If you are a return listener, watcher, subscriber, thank you so much for joining us again. Hopefully, we are adding value to your lives on the way to the M's because we are 1000% on the way to the M's. And you may say, Che Willis, what are the M's? We're talking about millions in assets and cash, whichever you choose, but we are on our way to them. You may say, how are we going to do this, Che? I'm glad you asked. We're going to reduce our expenses. We are going to take that pile of cash from reducing our expenses. We're going to march that money out into the marketplace and make us some money babies. And that's exactly how we're going to do it. So speaking of getting to the M's, man, we've been on a mission these last couple of weeks to talk about foundational things, how exactly we're going to get to the M's. And it's a lot simpler, not easy. It's a lot simpler than we think. And today we're going to talk about how my journey started and then where we are now and how we're actually building wealth from a practical perspective. But one of the exercises that we did, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Uh, and if you did not see this episode, I would encourage you to just to listen and do the exercise. Before you build any type of wealth, before you go on any type of journey, you have to see yourself accomplishing whatever the journey is, whatever your end result is. You have to see that up here first. And I believe that that is something that's lost, that you have to see it first before you achieve it. So anytime I go out to speak to groups of people, I have them close their eyes. So what I would like you to do is close your eyes and think to yourself what your ideal life looks like. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be you paying off your credit cards because some people are drowning in credit card debt. It could be paying your student loans off. It could be taking multiple paid for trips out of the country. It could be you being a millionaire. It could be you being able to send your kid to college or a private school without incurring any debt. It could be you living in a mansion. So, what does your ideal life look like? And I think that that is super important for you to think about before you start on the journey. So, my ideal life back in the day, because I remember I went to Lower Marion High School. If you don't know, when I went to school with Kobe, and it was a great time in life. But when people think of Lower Marion High School, they think of wealth, they think of abundance, which there are where the school is. Where I lived, not so much, right? We were a blue collar family. I lived with my grandmother, my grandfather, well, before he passed, and a couple other family members. And I shared a room with somebody up until I was about eighth or ninth grade, I believe it was. And but I remember praying to God and saying, "Hey, God, I would," and I was a kid. I like to be rich. Now, how I was going to get there, I had no idea. But I had the desire first to be wealthy or to be rich because I saw that when I went to school, not necessarily when I came home, but when I went to school, that's exactly what I saw. Kids driving nice cars. I go over some of my friends' house. One of my guys had a an arcade game. He had multiple arcade games, like actual arcade games. When we was lit if we had a Nintendo, you know what I'm saying? And he had actual arcade games, foosball table. He had his own room, which was cool, and he had a really nice house, and that's what I wanted. So I used to pray to God, God, I would love to be wealthy. I would love to be rich. Um, because in my current position, it sucked to me. I didn't want to share a room with anybody, you know. But at the end of the day, my grandmother, grandfather, my family did the best that they could with what they had, and I'm super grateful for that. But as a kid, you want things that other people have that you don't have. And that was my current situation. So I had the burning desire. But one of the things that I love, even though it sucks, is adversity. Adversity is amazing. Going through challenging times, even though going through it sucks, the challenging times teach you so much about yourself. And they teach you that you can, if you make the right moves and don't doubt and keep going, then you can make it over to the other side of whatever your situation is, whatever you're going through. I don't care if that's marriage. I don't care if that's poverty. I don't care what it is. Whatever challenging time you're going through perseverance and not speaking negativity over your situation, you can get through it. Because what I always say is, and my pastor says, saying whatever you're going to say out of your mouth is sowing it into your life. So what that means to you is if you are saying negative things about whatever your situation is, that's what you can expect to happen. Every time I take two steps forward, I take four steps back. Bad things always happen to me. Oh, woe is me. Things never work out for me. Like those types of things that you may not say and understand, what you're actually saying, but those things are sowing negativity into your future. So now you have the expectation to look for those things that are bad. But what I'll tell you is that going through that as a child, it taught me something that was awesome. It taught me that nobody was coming to save me. So as you watch this podcast episode, if you think somebody's coming to save you, you're probably wrong. So it's time for us to go after the things that we want. If we want our family members and if we want our family, our immediate family, in a better financial situation, and you are the head of the house, it is up to you to recognize what you're currently doing that's not working and do something different. Now, while you're going through it, it may not feel good, but I'm telling you, once you persevere and get over to the other side of that thing by walking it out, then good things are going to happen for you. And then you're going to recognize patterns. You're going to recognize things that you did wrong, that you did right. You'll continue to do those things that you did right, hopefully. And you'll see the things that you did wrong. And hopefully you'll walk away from those things and not do them again after you see them working. But you have to give yourself time. So one of the things that going through those adverse times taught me from a wealth building perspective is nobody was coming to save me. I had to work for whatever I wanted. So when I started trying to build wealth on my own, when I became an adult buying real estate, my wife and I, we started buying real estate with other people's money. And I mentioned it before on this podcast. But then in 2008, when the crash happened, they stopped lending money, but we still wanted to buy real estate. So what happens? The adversity came and it presented us with a challenge, but we wanted real estate. That was in our mind. We wanted real estate. So I have to now buy it. We have to buy it on our own now, right? So now when we talked about it last week, we talked about budgeting. We talked about saving money. Those are the foundational things that you can build your financial house on. So you start saving, you live below your means, you live below your means, you start saving money as a result of you living below your means. You build an emergency fund for bad things that can potentially happen 3 to 6 months. And at the same time, you reduce your expenses. And you may say to yourself like, "Yo, how are you doing all this at one time?" The way that you do that is you set up a budget and you have your income and then you have all of your expenses. And then once you get paid, you start divvying out the money where it needs to go. And that's exactly how we build the emergency fund. That's exactly how we live below our means. That's exactly how we save money and reduce our expenses. If you need help with setting up a budget, I have free information on my website. Does not cost you a dime. Wealthisajourney.com. It's in the description. You can go to my website, download everything, and there's a free how-to video. All free. So there's no excuse for you not to know and get the information that you need. But going back to the 2008 crash happened. So we had the foundation set. We were saving money. We were budgeting all the time, every month, and we were living below our means. So we had that foundation done. So when it came time, then the crash happened, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not lending money anymore." Okay, cool, no problem. So now it's time to save on our own to buy the things that we want to be able to build wealth. Because what do wealthy people have? They have assets. How do they get the assets? You need money for those things. So if you don't have any money or you don't have the principles to be able to have money, you cannot be wealthy. So if you want to be wealthy, which I did, I had to put some things in place to make sure I was tracking on the wealth journey. And doing those foundational things that we just talked about are going to get you there. So, saved up, saved up, saved up, saved up for years. That's another thing that wealthy people have. They have patience. Now, is patience sexy? Absolutely not. It sucks. It seems boring. It seems like, oh my God, when is this journey going to be over? But it's the best thing that can happen for you, because when you make snap decisions, when you make rushes in judgment and doing things of that nature, then that's when you start making mistakes. So patience is your friend. So it took 3 years to save up about $40,000, right? And at that point in time, they started lending money again. But what did I learn? I learned that in 3 years, $40,000 can be saved because discipline, patience, saving, budgeting, all the boring things. But now that the boring things were accomplished, now you can do the cool things, which is buy assets, buy property, things that is going to make you money in the future while the property continues to appreciate. So properties acquired with other people's money because they were lending money again. But then we're thinking to ourselves like, hey, well, listen, well, if $40,000 was saved in 3 years, maybe you just pay the thing off, paid the house off, and then started using the rent money and then the money that was saved, and then combining those things, and then saving money to then buy another one. You see something that's working, you rinse and repeat. You may have shiny object syndrome and say, "Oh, well, this is the shiny new thing." But if this thing here is working for you, do the thing that's working. You don't have to deviate because everybody else is doing it. That's another way to get poor. Doing the things that everybody else is doing when they may not have the track record of showing that they're building wealth at all. So you don't want to follow everybody. You want to follow people with a good track record of where you're trying to go. So if you see something's working, I would just tell you to continue to do it. So what happened is then saving up money, saving up money. You get a certain amount of money in the bank. Then we get another call. Hey, I think I got a deal for you over here. Um, it's going to cost you about 15 grand. No, it was actually 13 grand. It's going to cost you 13,000. Is a short sale. Okay. Go look at the house. It's going to need kitchen, carpet, paint, a little bit of bathroom stuff, flooring. No problem. Fix it up for 5,000, all in about 18 to 20 ish. And what do? You rinse and repeat again. So at this point in time, you take two of the rent monies that are coming in from the paid for properties, and now you may not have to invest as much of your money that you were taking from whatever you were doing from work. You could just use the investment money to make you more investment money. You see how that works? So we have to be in that mode of how do wealthy people get wealthy? They buy assets and then they continue to use the assets to buy them more assets. And that's exactly what we need to do. And that's exactly what we did. So then another opportunity came up and we just rinsed and repeated again. So now 4 properties later, all paid for, free and clear, taking the rent money and then throwing it back out to make more money. Now, again, ownership is how wealthy people get wealthy. So what do we need to do? We need to own things. So we own property. Now we go to the market and then we own shares of companies and ETFs, because that's then making us more money because the houses are appreciating. And then if we're doing our research properly, excuse me, then the stocks are appreciating as well. And so now that we have this machine working, now we're using the market to build up money for us to then pull out of the market, to then buy more assets, to then have the assets go funnel back into the market, taking the rents, and we're budgeting our money from the rents as well into the market to buy us more assets. Then when that comes up to a certain point, then we could pull that money out and then rinse and repeat all over again. So now we have a machine going in our favor, and now we're building the wealth that we talk about. So if you are what I would tell you is if you're working, um we're still 9 to 5ers as well. We're building something here, right? So if you're working as well, any money that you don't need should get invested. If you invest, you are giving yourself options. So when those phone calls come, like I've received, hey, I got a deal over here from somebody who knows that you want to do real estate, like me. Hey, I got a deal over here. What's the deal? 13 grand. We can get this property paid for. Now, I don't know if they're doing those deals anymore for 13,000. That's why we're saving up a lot more. But we were in position to take advantage of the deal because we were saving the money. So hopefully you understand that. You can do the same thing. You don't have to do everything that everybody else is doing. You find something that works for you and you do it, and you be consistent with it, and you persevere, because there's going to be challenging times. You're going to have people in your ear saying, "Yo, why are you doing it that way? We're over here doing it this way." Listen, fam, if that's what you want to do and that's working for you, you like it, I love it. This is what I'm doing over here, and it's working. So now we're using assets to buy us more assets. Um, and it didn't start out that way. It started out slow. It started out boring. It started out, this it in your mind, it feels like it's not working because it's not going as fast as you want it to go. But here's what I'm gonna tell you. When the machine starts going, it goes a lot faster the more you persevere, the more you push through. So I'm encouraging you to continue to do it. And as you do it and you're paying attention to what's going on around you, then you'll start having different ideas. In my prayer time, I have different ideas come to me about how we can make this thing move faster. So, one of the ideas that I had was to buy, and this is not financial advice. This is not financial advice. Okay. One of the stocks that I'm overweight, or ETFs that I'm overweight, is SCHD. It is an ETF. You can go look it up. And I was buying heavy. I was just buying, buying, buying. And then I had an idea. Well, why don't I try to get to 1,000 shares? What do I need to get to 1,000 shares? I need money. So the money that I receive in, it has to be divvied up. It needs to be budgeted. And then I took a portion and then bought the shares. I didn't buy all of them all at one time. I bought, 30 here, 40 here, 20 here, 10, 5. And then when I got a large sum of money in, because I budgeted, I knew what to do with the money. And then I just reached 1,000 shares this week. And I am super excited because it's a they pay dividends with this ETF. They pay right now at the time of this recording, they pay 28 cent per share per quarter. So my first dividend payment will be $280 that goes into buying me more shares. More shares means more dividends. More dividends means more shares. So the same thing I'm doing with the market, I'm sorry, with the houses, I'm taking the investment money and then I'm reinvesting it. I'm doing the same thing with SCHD. So I did some calculations, and if everything moves the way it's been moving for the last 5 years, just that 1,000 shares alone in 5 years, I think right now it's around like $28,000. In 5 years, it'll be 43 ish $1,000. In 10 years, it'll be close to 100. And if I do nothing else with it, not didn't touch it, anything like that, that's what it'll grow. And that's how wealthy people get wealthy. They buy assets and they buy them early and often. So that gives them options. So if you want to retire early, you can do that. But first, you need money. But before you even get to the money, you need the foundation. So the last couple episodes, we were doing foundational talks about how you can get to the place where you want to be. And I am nowhere near where I want to be at all. But through action and going through different adversities, it's teaching me different ways to overcome them and to be just better at handling business and things of that nature. So I'm saying all that to say that if you want something, you have to see it here first, and then you have to go after it because nobody's coming to save you. So if you're looking to build wealth, if you're looking to create this life that you want to live, then you're going to have to go after it because nobody is coming to save you. If you need help, seek the help you need. There are free resources again on my website, and I believe you can do it, man. From coming from where I came from, again, no, there was no shootings or stabbings or anything like that where I lived. It was just not the ideal situation that I wanted based on what I saw when I went to school. I wanted more. And I knew that there was more because I saw it at school. I just didn't know how to get it. But the foundational thing that I did know is that whatever I wanted, I was going to have to work for it. And that was the greatest adversity that I went through as a kid. Greatest. Because now being on the other side, closer to the other side, I'll say, um, I know what I need to do, but I need to pay attention and learn to what I saw, what may not have worked for me, what is working for me, and continue to do more of what's working for me. And you do the same thing. So that's it, man. If you have a better way to invest, or if you have a way that you are investing currently, I want to hear about it. Put it in the comments, and also subscribe, share, hit the like button, man. You know what I'm saying? This information that we're giving out is good information, but even if you don't believe that this is the right way to invest, it at the very least, it's giving you different ideas of what's possible for you or what could happen for you. Do we have other investments? Absolutely. But the one that I wanted to talk about today was the SAHD because going from where I came from to now buying a lot of shares of companies, I'm starting to understand more that I just need more assets in order to live the abundant life that I want to live and be able to do the nice, cool things, the trips and all the different things that I want to do. So, again, you can do this too. If you're young, like the kids I was talking to earlier this week, if you start early, this will be nothing, man. We started when we were, I think I was 26 when we got married, and that's around the time we started. 26, 27 years old. I'm 46 now. So just imagine if you start when you're 21, saving $10, saving $50. Like we started late, in my opinion. But if you can start early, you'll be killing it. So that's the episode, man. Hopefully this has been good for you, and you got some tips and tricks, some nuggets. But go get it, man, because nobody's coming to save you, man. We got to go. We got to go. We got to go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wealth is a journey. We will see you next week. Peace.